Hello and welcome. My name is Metamon and today we are broadcasting round 3 of both the Xfinity and NASCAR Sunday Series. So let's get right into the live scenes where the drivers will be contending a 5-minute practice session. So here is our round 3 event details tonight. We'll be racing at Texas Motorspeedway. So we have 5 minutes quali for both the Xfinity and NASCAR Series. So first up will be the Xfinity Series with a 42-lap race, competition caution at the start of lap 21, and there'll also be a mandatory pit stop. And then for the NASCAR race, that will be 62 laps, competition caution at the start of lap 31, also a mandatory pit stop with that one as well. So we'll go to the next slide. This is the circuit we're racing at tonight, Texas Motor Speedway, distance 2.32 kilometres with 4 corners. We know they're all left turns. So all you have to do is turn left and keep the car at quite a top-end speed around this circuit. Although it's pretty technical in the corner areas because it's a very shorter oval circuit here. So there's going to be a lot of slow movement through turns 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go to the next slide. Here is our championship scenario for the Xfinity Sunday Series. So it's Exorcist with the championship lead here on 72 points. He hasn't run a race, so he isn't cemented into the playoffs yet, but he's got a decent buffer at the top in comparison to the cut line. We go further down. Let's see who secured their spots. So Davo and Someone Awesome, P2 and P3 in the championship respectively. They have both secured their spots with race wins. So you've got to keep in mind, if you win a race in any of the series in the first 4 rounds, you cement your spot into the playoffs, as well as if you're in the playoffs and you win a race as a playoff driver, you'll be cemented into the championship 4. We go further down. We got Rojo in P4 on 69 points. We got Aussie Chopper on 66 points in P5. We got Team Little Bear on 64 points in P6. We got Psycho on P7 on 62. And we got Lord Angel Wolf on 60 points in P8. That is the cut line there. So he's 1 point above the cut line for the playoffs. And that's Dennis Marino's in P9 there. He's 1 point below the cut line on 59 points. And we got Team Spiegel on 53 points. He's 7 points below the cut line. Black Wildcats, quite a hefty margin there to get into the playoffs. He's pretty much a must-win situation for him if he makes any of these next 2 races. He's on 34 points. Morningstar Mike, must-win scenario tonight in the next round as well on 31 points there. We've got Pepe on 27, and then we've got Nachos on 25. That rounds out the 14-car grid there in the Xfinity Series. We'll go to the next page, and we'll have a quick whiz at the NASCAR Sunday Series scenario. That's Brenticles at the top with a 4-point lead over Davo in P2 on 68 points. Then we've got Excel on P3 on 68 points as well. He's been a usurper in this championship so far, and he'll be looking to cement his spot in the playoffs in the NASCAR Series as well. Blue XR8, good win in round 2. Will see himself into the playoffs, sitting P4 in the standings there. We've got Someone Awesome not cemented into the playoffs yet for the NASCAR Series, but he's looking fine in P5 there. P6 is Titan. He's on 61. P7, Racer 24, unfortunately won't be able to make the rest of the season. And then in P8, actually not in the playoffs at this stage, even though he's P8, is Aussie Chopper, because a race winner in Eagle Wind is all the way down in P11, but he's in the playoffs because of that race win in round 1. So Aussie Chopper is actually on the cut line here by 0 points. So it's going to come down the count back if he's to make it on current numbers. We got Pepe in P9. We got Rapworks Austral in P10. And then, as mentioned before, Eaglewind. He's in the playoffs, but he's in P11 on the standings. We got Ty Morgan on P12. Rooney in P13. Lord Angel Wolf in P14. We got Psycho, who's actually meant to be in P13 there. So he's meant to be 2 positions up. We'll quickly change that in the next leaderboards. So we got Black Wildcats, Rojo, Nachos, and Morningstar Mike, rounding out the 19-car field there. So we'll get it onto the next page now. We'll actually get that off. I'm not sure what's going on with my Elgato capture card here. See if we can get it working. There we go. Should be up to speed now. So we made that change, and here we go. This practice session about to come to a close, and it's Davo. Set the pace earlier on with a 34.2. Now I think that's Team Spiegel going up in the P1 now with a 34.2 as well. So the top two separated by less than 2/100ths of a second. Morningstar Mike goes to the top with a 34 flat now. He's pipped his closest competitor, Team Spiegel, by over 1/10 of a second. And that's practice complete for those guys. Team Spiegel, is he on the lap? No, he's not. He seems to be returning the pit lane here. Dennis Marino's onto the back straight now. He might be on a lap here. Currently a 34.4 is his quickest, sitting him in P5. So on entry to turn 3, but that's obviously session over. So obviously that didn't count for any qualifying results there. So it's Morningstar Mike, the quickest of the pace setters at the top there with a 34 flat, and he's looking to cement his spot into the playoffs if he wins tonight in either of the Xfinity and the NASCAR Sunday Series. So Team Spiegel in P2 and then Davo in P3. Someone awesome, one of our championship contenders in the Xfinity Series, all the way down in P8. It's a very unusual result for him as we tick over to the 5-minute qualifying session now. And pit lane's going to be very busy relatively soon. You wouldn't want to be the first car out because you will not get the benefit of the draft whatsoever. So everyone's going to time their run to perfection here. We're going to see a lot of guys not get too many laps in as they try to play the strategic game and trying to get in behind a car so they can get the benefit of that draft down the straights. So here we go. The first driver to react is Team Spiegel. He's first out on track. So he's obviously going to set the pace once he crosses the control line. But in terms of top-end speed-wise, he's not going to have the top-end speed in comparison to the guys behind. So who's that in behind him? That's Davo, one of our championship contenders in the Xfinity Series. So he's really going to get a huge benefit behind the rear bumper of Team Spiegel here at Texas Motorspeedway. So here we go. Team Spiegel on his hot lap now. We'll get every bit of information up on screen now. So top end speed should be around about 255 without the draft benefit. Should be around the 260, 263 mark if you're within the draft range of a car in front. So Team Spiegel entering turns 1 and 2 now. Down the back straight, we've got a car parked up wide. So Team Spiegel down the back straight now. Very short circuit this one. So we're seeing lap times of 34 flat. Being the early pace in this round here at Texas Motor Speedway. So across control line in a few moments for Team Spiegel. What's it going to be for him? It's going to be a 34.8. So not quick enough to beat a pace setter, but Davo with a 34.7. 35 flat from Team Little Bear puts him in P3. Dennis Marinos goes provisional pole now with a 34.5. It's at only half a second off that pace setting time of the 34 flat set by Morningstar Mike in the practice session. We got Peppy in P5, relegated back to P7 now. As Morningstar Mike, the practice pace setter, can only get a 35.1. So these times really start to get on the board now. We've got Davo on P2. Davo goes up in the provisional pole now with a 34.5. So separated by 1/1000th of a second between the top two guys. And half a second quicker as Dennis Marino's at the top. A 33.8 is the fastest lap we've seen of the round so far. Surely he's got provisional pole at this stage. We've got Morningstar Mike going up in the P2. A 34 flat from him, replicating his practice lap time here at Texas Motor Speedway. What has he got in response to the pole position lap time set by Dennis? We'll wait and see if he's got anything in the bag here as he's about to exit the mid-sector down the back straight, heading into turn 3. He's less than 2/100ths of a second up here, but it's not going to be enough based on those numbers to get provisional pole. He's going to come across the control line now, Morningstar Mike, without the draft. He's not able to go quicker. We've got Davo in P3 with a 34.1. And that's Dennis with a 33.8. That's a very quick pace setting time from him. Very awesome stuff. And he is on the cut line by less than 1 point in the playoffs scenario right now. So he's got everything to play for in this round, no doubt. So basically a race win will cement his spot in the playoffs, but a good result will put him in the playoff mix as well. So he's returning at the pit lane. Morningstar Mike went another time around, but he's 0.3 of a second slower. Now Davo, what has he got in response? He's got no one up ahead, so he's got no benefit off the draft. What's this going to be for him? It's going to be quicker, but it's not going to be quick enough to get past Morningstar Mike in P2. Southern Awesome, one of our championship contenders, currently sitting P4 in this session. What's this going to be for him? He's a 10th quicker out of the mid-sector. He's got the benefit of the draft from 2 drivers up ahead. What's this going to be a cross control on for him as he hits the outside wall there on exit of turn 4, down the inside. He barely improves there. Not able to improve on the leaderboards either. As we go on board with Team Spiegel, who's currently sitting P6. The cross control line now for him. Not able to go faster. Aussie is in P5 here. Very good time set by him, a 34.2. We're looking to get into the draft here of what is to be Southern Awesome, I reckon. No, that's one of the other green Ford Mustangs there. But we'll stay on board with Aussie Chopper as he's only 7/100ths of a second down on his quickest here. And that is qualifying complete. The cross control line now for Aussie as he takes a lot of the grass with him. Not able to improve there. Now Team Spiegel across the line, not able to improve either. Pepe slowed down, so he's out of it now. Team Little Bear is also out of it. We've got EXO in P9, one of our championship contenders, in P3 in the championship. But he's sitting P9 on the grid. He's got a lot of work to do on the race. Lord Angel Wolf also got a lot of work to do on the race, sitting in P10 with a 35.3. And Southern Awesome in the dying stages has put himself up in the P2. Naturally, he's got provisional pole. Pole position for Southern Awesome in the closing stages by 7/1000ths of a second. Championship contender and Morningstar Mike in P2. So the top 3 separated by less than 5/100ths of a second. That is not an unusual view though, as we are about to go into the 42-lap race here at Texas Motor Speedway. This is round 3 of the Xfinity Sunday Series hosted by myself, Meta Monen, and this is the Meta Monen Community Racing League on a Sunday Arvo. I hope you enjoy the action that is to come in both the Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Sunday Series. For now, we'll be broadcasting round 3 of the Xfinity Sunday Series here. And we've got the main event later with Race on Oz's Pagny GT3 Series. It's the finale round in their series in Div 1. So don't forget that we got that coming ahead tonight as well. And that will start at approximately 7:30 p.m. or 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that will be around about an hour and a half after the NASCAR round for the NASCAR Sunday Series. So right now, it's going to be Southern Awesome leading the cars across control line, heading into turn 1. Alongside him, Morningstar Mike in P2. A very good qualifying performance from Dennis. On the outside lane, on the second row, is Davo, one of our championship contenders there. We've got Team Spiegel in P5, Aussie in P6, that's your third row. Fourth row is occupied by Pepe and Team Little Bear. And then on the fifth row, we got a championship contender in EXO in P9, and then Lord Angel Wolf in P10. So that's your 10-car grid for the Xfinity Sunday Series here. And we're about to go green here at Texas Motor Speedway. It's going to be Southern Awesome leading it across control line. He's got the inside line heading to turn 1. He should be able to hold it here. We go green here at Texas Motor Speedway for round 3. A very good launch from Southern Awesome, the pole position man. He's got quite a decent lead heading into turn 1. Morningstar Mike sets his car up wide. And we've got Dennis on the inside here trying to chase down Morningstar Mike. Side by side now between Aussie and Davo. Davo's lost a couple of spots off the first couple of corners here. So here we go. We're about to conclude lap 1 here, and it was a very good run from these guys. No incidents whatsoever. And Morningstar Mike is right on the rear bumper of Someone Awesome as they go side by side across the control line. And that's going to be Morningstar Mike moving up in the P1. Good move on the second lap of the 42-lap race here for Morningstar Mike. Dennis is also on the picture here. The car's lagging around a little bit. We got Aussie moving up in the P3 now because Someone Awesome, he's hit the outside wall on exit of turn 2. He's got a lot of damage here. He's going to have to limp that car back to pit lane. Fortunately for him, he is in the playoffs due to a race win that cemented his spot. So he's not going to lose too much of the ground that he's got in the race for the playoffs. We've got a car off there into the grass section. That's Pepe, I reckon, coming onto the track. No, it's not. That was a car in the background of Exo. So Exo is really struggling here at Texas Motor Speedway for round 3 of the Xfinity Sunday Series here. So he's got a lot of work to do from the back of the grid now as we enter lap 3 of 42. He's just made a position up on Team Little Bear by the looks of it. So Team Little Bear got a lot of damage as well on the front end. So he's going to have to bring that in relatively soon. But it's Morningstar Mike leading this one on entry to lap 4. We're at turn 1, turn 2 section of Texas now, as we're about to enter the back straight, and it is pretty much a 6-car race for the lead here. Morningstar Mike trying to go defensive down the back straightaway. He's on the defence from Dennis in P2. Those guys separated by less than 0.2 of a second here as we enter lap 5 of 42 now. Cross control line. So 0.2 of a second slower than his fastest race lap, Dennis. But he's right on the rear bumper of Morningstar Mike in P1. We got Pepe in P3, so he's been one of our biggest movers in this race so far. Davo's lost the position. He's back in the P4. We got Team Spiegel in P5. Someone Awesome maintaining momentum back in P6. So he's starting to catch up to the lead guys now. He's got his lights on. He's trying to chase down Team Spiegel in P5. He's right on the rear bumper for this one. So he's trying to select his lane perfectly here as he scrapes the outside wall and exit to turn 4. Got the car of Exo in the background there, so he's moved up in the P7. We got Team Little Bear in P8, Lord Angel Wolf in P9, and Aussie in for his mandatory pit stop in P10. I reckon that's an unscheduled one there, but the competition caution should be able to bring him back into the mix, hopefully. But the current leader of this race is Morningstar Mike. He's starting to extend that lead just a little bit. It's surpassed 0.2 of a second now, just less than 0.3 of a second. But Dennis is still right on the rear bumper, lurking in the background there. So it's pretty much a 2-car race for the lead at this stage. Pepe and Davo fighting it out for the final spot. Brought back into it with the competition caution at the start of lap 21. But Davo right on the rear bumper of Pepe. We've got to keep in mind, Davo is one of our championship contenders in the Xfinity Sunday Series here. Currently P3 in the championship, and he has cemented his spot into the playoffs with a race win in round 1. So we know he is a very top quality driver. And he should be able to get a good result here tonight. We've got a bit of contact in the background there between Someone Awesome and Team Spiegel. Those two had side-by-side contact on entry to turn 1. But they seem to have escaped the carnage there. Someone Awesome's moved up in the P5. But rubbing is racing in NASCAR, and that is the evidence of it. So we go back up to the battle for P3 between Pepe and Davo. You got Someone Awesome lurking in the background, as well as Team Spiegel. Exo's buying himself into this battle as well. And then you got Team Little Bear and Aussie in the background of this one as well. But I think Aussie and Lord Angel Wolf, those two guys are a lap down. But they should be able to get their lap back once everyone has pitted in. And once the competition caution has come out. So Morningstar Mike extending that lead to half a second over Dennis in P2. He's still lurking in the background. That's all he has to be, is right behind the rear bumper of Morningstar Mike, heading into the mid-stage of this one. We're on lap 10 of 42. So the laps are quickly ticking down towards the competition caution at the start of lap 1 here at Texas Motor Speedway. So down the back straight now for Morningstar Mike. What's this relative? So 2/100ths of a second slower than his fastest race lap. So he's really got quick pace around Texas here without the benefit of the draft. So those times are very consistent from Morningstar Mike, and that's why we see him in P1 with a comfortable margin over Dennis in P2. So Dennis is just trying to stay there. We go further back. Southern Awesome's moved up in the P3 now. So he's put himself into the mix once again after that outside wall contact on exit of turn 2 a few laps ago. And then you got Exo in the mix as well in P4. And I think we have a retirement here, unfortunately. So Team Little Bear has put him into the mix into P5. Peppy in P6. We've got Davo. So he's had contact. I reckon him and Peppy have had contact at some point because both those guys carrying wounded Mustangs around Texas. So this is very race-defining stuff for Davo. He's going to go a lap down here as the leaders are about to pass him. So I think the retirement was actually... Oh, I thought it was Morningstar Mike, but he's all the way back in P5 now for some reason. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He was tracking well. So he's just carrying it back to pit lane. I'm not sure what's happened here to Morningstar Mike because he's completely out of the mix now. Dennis with quite a comfortable lead at the front. 7.2 seconds over Southern Awesome, one of our championship contenders. And as for Dennis, he is on the cut line of the playoffs. He's currently not in the playoff scenario at this stage. So he's looking good to get a good result to put him in the mix now. And with a race win, he'll no doubt feature in the playoffs in round 5 if he can hold position where he is. We've got XO and P2. He currently hasn't cemented his spot in the playoffs, but looking quite comfortable above the cut line in P3 in the championship. So down the back straight for XO. He's 3.3 seconds down from the leader of this race in Southern Awesome. He's 2.6 seconds slower than his quickest race lap here, so I'm not sure if he's struggling with his tyres set in this stage of the race. It seems to be quite early to be struggling on those set of tyres. But he hasn't done his mandatory pit stop yet. So once everyone's done their mandatory pit stops, we'll finally see who's actually in the mix for a race win here. As Morningstar Mike is still parked up in pit lane. He's losing positions galore here. He's been relegated back to P7. Davo in P8. And then we got Lord Angel Wolf in P9 here. So Dennis coming out from his pit stop on track in P5. He's 46.6 seconds away from the lead of this one. So effectively a lap down from Southern Awesome, but it's a reasonably short circuit here at Texas. So Dennis should be able to get the advantage once Southern Awesome has made his mandatory pit stop, which would be expected to be under the competition caution, which will be the best time to do so. So currently he's tracking well in P1. We'll go on board cockpit view as he takes you for a lap. Actually, we'll go chase view. So we've got car. I think that's the car at Morningstar Mike coming out of pit lane now. He's about 3 or 4 laps down by the looks of it. We've got Davo exiting pit lane as well. Lord Angel Wolf is still in pit lane for repairs. So Southern Awesome holding the lead here, but he's still yet to come in for his mandatory pit stop. Effective leader of the race is currently Dennis in P5. 47.8 seconds down from the lead of Southern Awesome. Cross controller now for Southern Awesome. 7/10 slower in this stage of the race. So these tyres really in struggle town here for everyone. So Morningstar Mike is effectively 3 laps down. So he's not going to be able to challenge for a victory tonight. He's just going to have to maximise his points haul here to get him into the mix. Even get a fastest lap to accumulate some playoff bonus points here. If he can make the playoffs, that will be a good result for him from here on in. We'll go back to trackside view as Team Little Bear comes in for his mandatory pit stop. I think Exo is following Q here as well. So he's got a little bit of damage on the front end with the bonnet slightly bent up just a little bit. So a little bit aero deficient there for... Now that's someone awesome coming into the pits. So sorry about that. Exo is currently leading this one. So down the back straight now, he should be able to respond relatively soon with the competition caution among us in a couple of laps' time. So Exo making the decision to cover the guys behind in Team Little Bear and Someone Awesome. So strategic play here as you see Someone Awesome exiting pit lane there in the other green Ford Mustang there. So coming in the pit lane now for Exo. Team Little Bear has exited pit lane and he's currently sitting P2. So he's looking quite fine for a good result so far. And the competition caution is among us in 1 lap's time. So everyone will be slowing down. So Exo has been relegated back to P2. Now I'm not sure what's happened here because everyone's disconnecting. Completely oblivious to what has happened.